hi. Ora vino, hi. Ora vino, ora vino, ora vino, hi, hi. Ora vino, hi, hi. Ora vino, hi, hi. Vino, ora vino, hi, 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 hi.
That was a heck of a way to get applause, I must say. I'm going to try that. So now we turn to the Torah service, which is the central part of this afternoon's Shabbat celebration, Bat Mitzvah celebration, in which we, as I promised you twice now, remove the Torah scroll from the ark and pass it literally and symbolically generation to generation to generation, grandparents, parents to child, symbolizing that never-ending chain of Jewish life and civilization and learning. I invite you to turn to page 383, where our Torah service begins. I invite you to rise once again as I invite grandparents Vilma and Irv and parents Randy and Jean to come and join their daughters here as we're about to pass the Torah, and to invite, let's see, uncles and cousins Raymond, Todd, Bill, and Jim to all come down and help us by opening the ark. Okay, guys.
ויהי בנשוא אהרון ויאמר משה ויהי בנשוא אהרון ויאמר משה קום אדוני ויפוץ אויביך וינוס משונאיך ומפוניך כי מציון תצא תורה כי מציון תצא ודבר אדוני מירושלים ברוך שנתן תורה תורה ברוך שנתן תורה תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושת
Listen to the cantor and then repeat.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonai Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonai Kadosh.
בשמיים ובארץ, ככל בשמיים ובארץ. וימית נעשה על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים
Please be seated. You guys be seated too. We're going to turn to the Torah. I think we'll turn to the Torah. And just so you all know, it contains the 5 books of Moses, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, which we normally read in an annual cycle. It takes a year to read. And then there are special moments and special occasions in which we have special Torah portions that are unique to that weekend, that Sabbath, like this weekend, because this was a holiday weekend, the holiday of Shavuot, the 7 weeks after the festival of Passover. And what's Passover celebrate? Passover celebrates freedom. We were slaves and we went free. Slaves for hundreds of years in Egypt, and then we went free. And then we count these 7 times 7 weeks until we get to this holiday that happened yesterday, in which 7 weeks later we are standing at the foot of what? Mount Sinai. The foot of Mount Sinai, on the way to Israel. On the foot of Mount Sinai, we go from redemption to revelation. Redemption from slavery to the revelation of standing at the foot of Mount Sinai and receiving what Moses brought down, those tablets that contained what? The 10 Commandments. This is an audience participation act. The 10 Commandments. And that's why on this holiday of Shavuot, we read the 10 Commandments, which is what our girls are going to do. They're going to read the 10 Commandments. And one of the things that makes those commandments so powerful is for you to think about the fact that this scroll is 3,000 years old. This individual one may not be 3,000 years old, but the text of the Torah is literally a 3,000-year-old document. It is copied literally one letter at a time by the sacred scribes who write them on parchment, exactly the same way today as they did 3,000 years ago. One letter, the next letter, the next letter. It takes an entire year to write a Torah scroll. It is literally the same 3,000-year-old text that it was when it was first handed down, which is what makes it so powerful. And here, after 3,000 years, we have those same 10 commandments that we still haven't quite figured out how to do 3,000 years later. Don't murder. Don't steal, don't commit adultery, don't covet, honor your father and your mother, keep the Sabbath. Those rules, have no other gods before me. Those rules that were the foundation of Western ethics, the foundation of ethics that started in the Middle East and traveled to the rest of the then Western world, that became the foundation of what our legal system ultimately is today here in the United States. The whole idea that there should be some law beyond human beings' simple opinion. That there is the notion that there is an ultimate yes and no, an ultimate right and wrong, which is what the Torah brought to the world when it brought it. And it didn't bring it just for some little tribe somewhere in the middle of the Middle East wandering from Egypt through the desert.